Welcome to Bridge the Atlantic. We are your hosts, music web designer Ross Barber.
And musician-filmmaker Marcin Novelli.
Please join us in welcoming Patrice Cokley to the show. Patrice is the founder of the Bassline Group, a music-inspired brand management and marketing firm based in Chicago. And they help empower musicians and creative entrepreneurs to grow their businesses and reach a wider audience. With years of experience in marketing and communications, Patrice has a ton of knowledge to share, so let's just jump right in. Welcome to the show, Patrice.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm a fan of the show, so I'm super excited to be here.
We have a fan. Woohoo!
Yay!
We're stoked.
They're our favorite kind of guests.
Right. I met Ross right before you guys launched Bridge the Atlantic. And when Ross told me about it, I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. So
No way.
I'm super excited to be on the show.
Awesome. This is awesome. Well, why don't you tell us 3 things about yourself that everyone should know?
Good question. Let me see here. I used to play the piano. I'm a little rusty now, so if anyone asks me to play, I'll try to dust it off a little bit. I'm super obsessive with business and marketing. It's weird. I'm extremely obsessed with it. And Janet Jackson is the only artist I've seen all of her tours. Like, I can't say that for Kanye West or anybody like that, but Janet Jackson is the only artist where I have to see her live. Really? So I've seen all of her tours. So that's 3 things that people don't know.
Well, what was your favorite tour?
Oh, I would say the very last one, the Up Close and Personal, because because I was able to get up close.
Oh, right.
Because I saw her in Detroit at the Fox Theater, and the security let us literally go up to the stage and see her. So I have pictures of her right in front of me, and I'm like, I'm gonna take advantage of it because this is like the only time I'm gonna get this close.
That was what, 3-4 years ago or something?
Yeah, it was about 3-4 years ago. About 4 years ago. Yeah.
She hasn't toured since, has she?
Nope.
Might be your last one. Who knows?
Right, and I got my tickets too.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I saw that all over Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's like, I got my tickets.
I love it. I love it.
Yes, I love Janet. Love her. Her first tour I ever went to was Rhythm Nation. So everything
that's 80s,
Rhythm
isn't
Nation.
it?
Yeah,
wow.
That was when I was old enough to go to a show like that.
Wow.
So yeah, I've seen her eat every tour.
Were you a fan of Michael as well?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes. I remember growing up, I had a picture of Janet on one side of my bed and then Michael on the other. So big Jackson fan. Big Jackson.
Nice.
Awesome.
So we'll know the answer to one of our 20 questions.
I think we probably know the answer to 2 of our 20 questions.
Yeah, there we go.
I think it's been given away.
Foreshadowing.
So obviously, I've worked with you. We work together on your website, so I know quite a bit about Bassline Group. But for people that aren't familiar, can you tell us a little bit about why you started Bassline Group and maybe some of the projects that you've been involved in?
Oh, sure. But first, thank you, because this is the first time we've actually seen each other face to face at the same time.
That's true.
Thank you so much for that website. I still get compliments on it, and you really killed it. You nailed it. So much love to you out here in Chicago. A lot of people are asking who you are. So you did an excellent job. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you for choosing me and for being a great person to work with.
Can you be more business? Can you be less likable, Ross, and just be like, thank you for choosing Electric Key. If you have any questions, just refer it out to my secretary.
Ross is amazing, man. You're so supportive, and anytime I have a question about anything, he sends an email right back. So definitely, you guys are watching. Ross is a great guy to work with. Definitely reach out to him.
I guess I'll agree with that.
You agree? You should.
Begrudgingly.
Of course. But Bassline Group, it actually started, it's been an idea since I was a kid, really. I always had the aspiration of working in the music industry, from thinking of like A&R, artist management, something like that, because I was really fascinated with Bad Boy Entertainment and what they were doing, and then everything with Death Row. Not necessarily all the crime and whatnot that they were involved in, but just the business aspect of it. I was always fascinated with the business side of music, which is why I decided to go to school as a music major, and then I transitioned into business during college. But I've been consulting for about 7 years. My major is marketing. So I said, let me get that education in marketing. Let me try to work in the field first, and then I'll apply it to music later. That was my original idea and the track that I wanted to take. So last year, I felt like it was a good time to start it. I was working with an artist in New York at the time, and I really enjoyed her project. I really enjoyed working with her and traveling back and forth. And I said, you know what, this is a sign. This is a sign that it's time for me to live my dream since I was like 10, 11 years old. Let's go ahead and do it. So I decided to break away from using my name as my brand, and I developed the Bassline Group. Now, with Bassline, I still work with all industries. It's not just music. So I like to describe it as a music-inspired boutique agency that focuses on brand development, marketing strategy, and management. And the bassline is pretty much a metaphor. It doesn't necessarily mean that I play the bass, but it's a metaphor. When you think of a bass line in the song, that's the foundation of the song. It's the bass. And I feel like your brand serves the same purpose in your career. So that's where that pretty much comes from.
I like that.
Yeah, thank you.
I like that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So one thing I kind of want to jump straight into the advice, because I know you, I follow you on Twitter, I've listened to loads of like podcast interviews that you've done. So I know you've got tons to share.
Yeah.
So I'd like to maybe go into branding a little bit and ask you why you think strong branding is important, mostly for musicians in particular. And do you think it's maybe become more important in the digital age? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's very important now, especially with artists, because when you think about it, artists, they're very closed off, and they speak through their music or they speak through their artwork. And us as consumers of that art, we want to know a little bit more. We want to know who you are, what's your day-to-day like. Whereas an artist, they'll just stay in the studio and like, this is it, this is all I want to do, I want to focus here. And it's like, no, we need to show, as artists, we need to show a little bit more of who you are as a person. And that's what pretty much just sells what you do. So I think even now, especially with the digital age, having Instagram and Twitter, everyone is so connected. So it makes sense. It's like before, when you think about it, we didn't have all of this. So all you knew was the music. Nowadays, that's not an issue. You know, you can just simply post something up, show the behind the scenes perspective of your life, of your creative process. And that's what people are falling in love with. I mean, even if you think of the mainstream artists today, like Chris Brown, we don't know all the songs on his latest CD. We don't. But we know what's going on with his personal life. Mm-hmm. And that's what's making people fall in love with him or dislike him. It's not necessarily the music. Even though in award shows, he'll say, oh, I want to get back to the music. It's about the music and the music. No, we're more in tune with your personal life. So I think right now as an artist, it's very important not to say you need to put all your business out there, but at least show something, because that's what the consumers demand at this time.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, Marty, it's something that you and I have talked about a little bit, is Twitter and how much of ourselves to put out there. Because I know you're quite open on Twitter. You put quite a lot out there. And for a while I wasn't. I was focusing more on like sort of business related tweets. And actually, Patrice, you and I have talked about this a bit as well.
Yeah.
And that it is actually better to show more of your personality and more of yourself online. And I've definitely noticed since I've started doing more of it that it's had a really good impact on the kind of conversations I've been having and everything. Do you think that's something that you find a lot of artists don't do enough of?
Yeah, I do. I see them, they'll either talk about political views or they'll talk about what they have going on, their project, but it's like, no, what are your interests? What is it that you like to do for fun? You know, do you have a pet? Talk about your pet. And I love when you post about your dog. And I'm trying to get back into posting about my cat who's sitting here on the floor by my feet. And it's like people gravitate to that because it's something that they can relate to. Mm-hmm. You know, and it makes them like you even more. You know, it's a way to start a conversation. So, I don't see enough of it, even though I like it. I would like to. There's an artist in California that I follow. She's starting to do a little bit more about that. She's a vegetarian, so she'll post her meal. She'll talk about how it's helped her perform and the benefits of that, and how it relates to her music. So I love seeing it, and I definitely commend all the artists that do that, but I would like to see more of it.
Yeah, but I was going to say Marcio is vegan, and he likes
nice.
to mention it all the time. But one thing that, like, obviously,
Did you say I like to mention it all the time?
I'm going to be picking your brain because I'm trying to transition.
Nice, good job, good for
I was
you.
going to say because
Good
because
for you. I'll be one of those obnoxious people. Good job.
Yeah.
because you post about you post quite a lot if you get like vegan cookies and all this sort of stuff. But I think you're now getting some opportunities coming up for like sponsorship or festivals that vegan related festivals. So I think like it definitely can pay off in other ways, showing your personality as well as kind of starting conversations. It can create opportunities.
As long as it's authentic, like that's just something that's very, very a part of my life and my wife's life and our two little boys' lives. So it's like, and it's something that I truly believe in. So I think if you do things just to please other people or keep your mouth quiet because you don't want to offend other people, that's not a good thing. I think you just have to be true to yourself, which I think more artists need to do. You have a voice, use it, because like you said, we're living in an age right now where people want to know you. It's not so much about, I mean, there's still a place for that kind of bigger, larger than life star, but it's even them. First of all, it's very few and far in between now to have it, to be at that level, and even with them, like, let's use Jared Leto as an example, because I always use Jared Leto as an example, and Ross is always like, you want to use Jared Leto as an example, but I always use some example. Oh, God.
Everything you need some new interests.
No, I'm gonna do this just to piss you off, but you know what? He shows he's a real person, despite how larger than life he is. He shows he's a real person, which I think this is what people want now. People, and I think that's the best. I think it's better than ever. It's not about being bigger than your fans. It's about being equal, and showing them how important they are. So anyway, that's my little tangent. Being a person.
Be
authentic. Yeah, be a person. You're a person that just happens to have a job that makes art. Let people in.
I agree. Beyonce is doing an excellent job at that, just to bring out just to display a good example of that. Like,
yeah, how so? Like, 'cause she's larger than life. Yeah,
she's huge. Like, no one even saw this coming, and she still has a way of keeping her private life private, but yet still show a little bit of that life.
Yeah, exactly. And
it's all about balance.
You know what? It's kind of like, you make friends in life, and you're not gonna meet a friend and just tell them your whole life story or share every detail of your private life with them. But there's certain people you will, and it comes down to comfort. So it's a matter of how comfortable you are with certain levels. Like, I post a lot of pictures of me and my kids and my wife and just what I'm doing. If I'm going to the gym, or like you said, like Ross was saying, vegan, this and that. These are all things I'm comfortable with, and it's fine. There are things in my life I wouldn't post, you know what I mean? Because I probably wouldn't share with a friend or even some family members. So I mean, it's a matter. I think it's a matter of comfort too. I think never do what you're not comfortable with anything. But like, just to, I didn't really respond to what Ross was saying about. He was saying about getting opportunities specifically in kind of like a vegan world. Even to branch out from that, I think it's cool, and I think you'd probably say this. It's good to have a niche as long as it's, again, authentic to yourself, because you can then group together with other like-minded individuals and help each other out.
Right, and I always tell people, and that's the whole point of building a brand. That's what you are. Everything is not just the music, is not just the art. You need to build that brand, which encompasses everything that involves you. So like you, the vegan, the whole vegan lifestyle, it's like the vegan. It's sponsorships and all kind of stuff with that. And then that also grows your audience as well. The one artist that I was working with, she was saying how she was a big fan of a particular hair product. And I'm thinking like, okay, let's go ahead. Let's try to tweak them, try to promote them. Let's, show that you use the product, which she does. You never know where that may lead to,
exactly.
And I always tell people, think bigger than your studio. And what is it that you like to do? And every person that I work with, I try to spend some personal one-on-one time with them, just so I can see that, because they don't think to talk about it. All they think is music. They think about the paint that I need to buy, the producers I need to look for. They don't think about all the other stuff. And I just like, let's just kick it. Let's just relax. Let me just get to know you. And then I start seeing things and seeing different stuff that they're into and how we can build the brand of that particular person, and they don't think like that. So yeah, we just have to think bigger. And that's something that I need to do with myself. I'm around here thinking like, okay, since I'm so obsessed with business and marketing and Bassline, I'm like, all right, what else am I into? Like something that I can capitalize on. Let me take my own advice here. What's something that I can use? So it's very important today. And even with some of these big artists, most of their money makers, the big, huge source of revenue for them is not their music. It's not the art. It's their endorsements and things that they're involved with. And again, that goes back to their personal interest. So it all ties together. So I like to tell people we need to think larger than the artwork and the creative piece and think of yourself as a brand.
You know, I want to almost come up with a different name than brand, because like for brand, as an artist, like brand sounds like, I hate feeling or sounding like too businessy, because it really comes down, like, I guess I'll use myself as an example. It's all about authenticity, being yourself, and just simply putting it out there, right? Yeah. I think it's just being, I guess that's what it is. In my opinion, you know, say my brand, quote unquote, is really just me. Right. You know what I mean? I'm a solo artist, so I mean, like, it's just about being me. And with the band too, it should be collectively what they are, you know, or you know, I think that's for me, that's what a brand should be, you know, for an artist. It should just be true to them. And you know, I really like the approach you take when because I'm sure there are people that there are management companies that see an opportunity come about, you know, for sponsorship and maybe push that on their artists. But the fact that you're taking the same approach I am, like, you know, what do you like anyway? Well, let's see if you can get sponsored. Yeah. Why not? Because you like it anyway. So it's the authenticity, because if you're going to be sharing that with your fans and being like, hey, you know, I like this, you guys should check it out too, because, you know, you're sharing something with them. At least if it's authentic, why not? Right. You know what I mean? Because you want to do that, you know, but if it's fake,
right, then there's no point. There's no point. People can see that. People can see fakery, as I call it.
Yeah, I like that, fakery. I'm going to use
fakery.
That. That's
good. Yeah, they see it just so easily now, you know, and people, I think today with the media and everything, we see how things can be photoshopped. We can see how the media can take a particular situation and edit something to make it look different than what it is. It's just a lot of fakery going on. So I think being authentic, it's like we need that. There's a demand for it. As an everyday consumer, we are craving that. And I'm just waiting on the right artist to show that, like to promote it, and let's go full force with it, because I mean, they just have to put it out there. And once they put it out there, I mean, they're solid. But I think a lot of artists, they get scared of showing that, and they feel comfortable in the studio, and that's where they express themselves. But it's like, no, there's a demand for it, so why not fulfill it?
It's 2015. I mean, it's not 1995 anymore. You
exactly.
know? You can't really be that. I don't know. Yeah. Well, you know, how would Kurt Cobain work today with Twitter? Do you think he would use it, or do you think he would just be like? I feel like he would just be like, no, I'm not gonna do it. And all his management companies would just be like, you got to use it. No, man. Yeah. But what I mean, you know, is just like you can't really have that nowadays. You know, I mean, you can kind of to a point, but you know what? You can still maintain mystery, you know, because you know I like a little bit of mystery in the artist I like, you know, and I follow, but I think that it's a balance. It's like we said earlier, it's a balance of what to share and what not to share, right? You know, but you know, I'd love to ask, speaking of which, what are some kind of common mistakes you see artists make, and how can they fix them? And this can apply to social media or not even social media. I'm sure you can see that smile, so I'm sure there are a lot you can say. What are some of them?
Oh, man. Let me see what's some good ones, because I don't want to offend anyone, because people are very sensitive nowadays, and I feel like we need to be honest. You know, let's stop walking on, you know, eggshells, and let's be honest, because I'm the type, I'm going to give it to you straight.
That's what I like.
Chaser, because I feel like I would prefer that you hear it from me. If we're working together, I prefer that you hear it from me first before you go out in the street and millions of people coming at you and attacking you. Like I always tell the folks that I work with, I will never have you go outside looking crazy. Never. I can't do it. So I can't do it. So the mistakes, not being consistent in anything that they do. They're not consistently in the studio, creating art and work or whatnot. They're not consistent with marketing their project. They'll market a project or tweet it and Facebook it for a month, and then they just fall off, and it doesn't work that way. You should have been tweeting and building anticipation for that 3 months, at least 3 months beforehand. And when you launch it, you need to keep on launching. Like you need to continue to promote that even afterwards, and then seeing who you can partner with to help them promote your stuff too. So I see a lot of people just not consistent, not taking direction and being sensitive with it. With any direction that they have. And I understand people with the whole saying, I think Erykah Badu said it first, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my, and it's like, okay, I understand that you're sensitive, but at the same time, we're in a different time here. Erykah Badu may have said that and came out with that in like the 90s or early 2000s. And as you said, Marcio, it's 2015. We need to remember that this is a business. Yes, you're an artist. This is how you express yourself, but this is also a business. So you have to be able to take constructive criticism, especially when you want people to pass over their hard-earned dollars to you. So you have to take them into consideration. So I would say that those would be the top ones as far as where the mistakes are.
Yeah, you know what? I think that it's a matter of when it's constructive criticism, and also I think every artist, they need to be able to hear that, right, particularly if they trust where it's coming from, but also if they don't trust where it's coming from, to realize that you can take that and then you can keep some in and you can also let some go. It doesn't change you. I mean, no one can make you do anything. Even if you're not really agreeing with your management, then it's time to change your management. Everyone needs to be on the same level. But yeah, if you're working with someone and you trust them, as long as you're still staying true to yourself in the whole process. I think that's what I used to be very afraid of. I can only I'm speaking for myself a lot just because I can. And I think when you realize at the end of the day, no one can make you do anything. If as long as you feel like you're still staying true to yourself and everything you're doing, you're good. You're solid. You know what I mean? But maybe hear what some people have to say. Just outside opinion, respected opinion that maybe they're coming from a different angle than you're coming from.
Right.
As an artist, especially for your own art, you're very. I know I am. It's like everything is great. Actually, I've been doing it long enough that I can know maybe everything's great, but certain ones are better. Let's just leave it like that. I'm not going to say certain ones are bad. Actually, some of them are bad. Yeah. But you need to be able to know that.
Yeah, and that's why there's listening sessions and people host those. And a good example is I always refer to what's the movie, the Motown movie, The Temptations, and how the Berry Gordy character. When they were recording the song, they kept trying to find what's the single they should put out. And it was all these hits, what we consider hits today. They kept putting them out. And he would have a group to listen to the song. And he asked, if you were down to your last dollar, which was a lot of money back then, would you buy a sandwich or would you buy this record? And some people, if it wasn't good, they'll say, "Oh, the sandwich," right. And that's what we need to get back into right now. And I think the internet kind of caused this issue, because now artists can just simply put out music whenever they feel like without getting some kind of feedback on it. So I think we need to get back into that and having a good team of people that not only want to see you excel and care about you, but also have a good ear and is paying attention to the market and can say, whether give some constructive feedback on whether or not this song is going to do good or if it's a bad song.
I love that you said that, because as an artist, you create and you just want to share and share and share. Right. I'm going to share, I'm going to let you know a little technique I've used, and I think that other people could probably take from this. I used to, as a solo artist, I used to have a moniker for myself, right? And I changed under the advice of a producer I was working with. He said, if you have a great name, just use your name. And ever since I changed to use my name, I realized, everything I release better be the best I can do. Because at the end of the day, if people don't like my music, they're saying I don't like Marcio Novelli because that's my name. I would take that personally. Right. But not everyone's gonna like what you're doing. But the point is, you need to sit back and be proud of everything you did. So I think that even if you use a moniker, or if you're in a band, you use a name. The only advice I would give is pretend like that's your name. You know what I mean? Like your actual name. Because remember, you want to look back and be proud of everything you put out, you release. And I mean, not everything that you release just because you want to share it, is going to be something you're always going to be proud of, or at least the majority of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and
so I like what you
even
said
now,
there.
yeah, even when I switched from using my name to Bassline,
Yeah, there we go.
I'm like I'm still the face of the company.
Mm-hmm. I see. Yeah, on Twitter, it's you, and
it's still my face, and I did that for a reason, just simply because I still want people to see that it's me, even though I made that transition. I want them to know this isn't a fake page or anything like that. It's still me. I'm just, handling business as a DBA versus my name, and I want to build it and I want to grow it. It's something that's bigger than me, but also to show that there's a person behind it. We're not just some big company and, all the employees are a number and
you
our
can't
clients.
hide behind anything. That's
exactly.
very similar to me. I think you and I, even though we're in we're in the same industry, but completely different sides of the business.
Right.
At the end of the day, it makes you have to put your best foot forward, because at the end of the day, if you don't do good work, it's your face.
It's your face.
Yeah. So I feel like, I love that. I love that.
And because of that, I'm very picky. I'm very picky with who I work with.
There you go. Because it's representing you.
Right. Whether it's service providers, clients, or artists. That's why I bow down to Ross.
Love it. There you go. I don't think you don't just hand out the compliments, I think. So Ross, you should really take this one. You ready for 20 questions?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Nervous.
I'm gonna start this one. Right.
Uh-oh.
Coffee or tea?
Oh, coffee.
Meat or veggies?
Veggies.
CD or vinyl?
Oh, CD.
Summer or winter?
Summer for sure.
Yeah.
Yoga or yogurt?
Yogurt. Yoga seems boring to me.
Twitter or Facebook?
Twitter, hands down.
Now, this is based on some quotes I read on your Facebook page.
Okay.
Just because it's a weird, two people that are weird to put together.
I like it.
Oprah Winfrey or Steve Jobs?
Oh, Oprah Winfrey.
I would go for Oprah too.
So would I, probably.
I haven't seen her for
Sorry,
years,
MacBook, but...
Yeah, Oprah.
The Walking Dead or Mad Men?
Oh, good question. Oh my God. Both favorites.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ross does good research.
Yes, it is. Oh, wow. The Walking Dead.
You did it. Dead. You had to pick one.
Canada or Scotland?
Uh-oh. I've never been to Scotland, but I've been to Canada, so I'm going to say Canada. I've been to Toronto, actually. Toronto, Perfect. Windsor. Yeah, nice. being from Detroit is literally across the water.
Absolutely. It's a walk. It's a stone throw around. Celine Dion or Marilyn Manson?
Marilyn Manson. Beautiful People is my favorite.
Ah, nice. Very good. I huge inspiration for me. You wouldn't hear it in my music, but huge inspiration for me as an artist. Yeah.
Beyonce or Janet Jackson?
Oh, come on now.
Come on.
You have to ask that. Janet Jackson.
Detroit or Chicago?
Oh, Detroit.
There you go.
Yeah, hometown.
Now, I think these are two of your favorites too. House of Cards or Orange is the New Black?
Oh, House of Cards.
Oh, wow. I'm really surprised. I would have picked...
It makes you think.
Empire or Scandal?
Oh, man, you guys were digging. Oh. Empire or Scandal? Empire, because it's music related. Yeah.
There you go.
But I watch both. Love them both.
Now, Battle of the Michaels, our favorite question. Michael Jackson or Michael Bolton?
Oh, come on, Jackson, all the way.
You mean you didn't have pictures of the Bolt on your walls?
No, I didn't.
No crap. Twerk or work?
Oh, work. I've tried to twerk, just being silly around the house.
Yeah.
And it's something with my back, like I don't have that coordination. I don't know.
I can do it. I do it all the time. No, I'm joking. Yeah. I can't twerk.
Ricky Gervais or Ricky Martin?
Oh, Ricky Martin.
Whale or Kale?
Oh, Kale.
Bette Midler or the Riddler?
Ah, the Riddler.
And the final question, blah, 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 blah. Fake drum roll. We're all doing the fake drum roll. Ross or Marcio?
Oh, no. I'm going to close my laptop.
That would be the best ending. That she was just like, nope, close, end of interview. Well, thank you for watching Bridge Atlantic.
Oh man, I'll say Ross
God.
just because. Yeah. I'll say Ross.
Of course, it's all good. I'm not gonna go cry.
I love you too. I love you too.
So, what sort of music recommendations do you have? What have you been listening to lately?
Oh, some of everything. Definitely Janet Jackson's latest song.
I think we know that one.
That one. That J. Cole was a very good good touch to it. Joey Cathos out in Philly. She's an indie artist, very a conscious rapper. Her music is really good. Definitely check her out. Journey Rain out in California. Very good artist. Plays acoustic guitar and all kind of instruments. I mean, she's amazing.
Nice.
I need to download Raina Williams, another indie artist out in Brooklyn. She's amazing, and her CD just dropped today. And I'm not like promoting these people like that.
It's all good if you are.
Yeah, it is. I mean, these are people that I'm listening to right now. Her CD just dropped today, and I can't wait to download it. And I would say mainstream though, Janet Jackson, of course. Who else? Jill Scott. I got to download her new CD.
Cool.
Yeah, those are the people I'm listening to right now.
Sweet. And if you want to go find out more about Patrice and her company, go to thebasslinegroup.com. That's bass like the guitar, not B-A-S-E. It's B-A-S-S line group. On Twitter and Instagram, it's the Bassline GRP. And Facebook, it's as well the Bassline GRP. If you want to hear my music and what I'm up to, go to marcionovelli.com.
And if you want to see what I'm up to, you can check me out at electrickiwi.co.uk.
Awesome. This has been so much fun.
Yes, it was. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thanks for watching Bridge the Atlantic. If you like what you saw, make sure to like, favorite, and most importantly, subscribe so that you don't miss each week's episode.
Click on the videos above us if you'd like to see more, and please feel free to leave us a comment letting us know what you think of the show.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and subscribe to us on iTunes so that you can listen to us on the go. Thanks again for being awesome, and we'll see you on next week's episode.